Whoa, hello and welcome to another edition of the Boytown podcast with me, Papa Bear, Dave Elliott. And this week there's no Money Toad. He's still on paternity leave. This is his final week on paternity leave because after that he has to pay to be off. And once again, filling his hole admirably is, to be fair, the unofficial third member of Boytown. It's the Buttmole himself. Aaron Butler, welcome once again to the show.
Whoa, what did you just call me?
I called you the Buttmole.
The Buttmole? Wow.
Listen, I'm Papa Bear, Shane's a Money Toad, and you are the Buttmole. You're a man who loves, you live inside butts. That's kind of what a Buttmole is, isn't it? Lives underground, but you live, instead of underground, in butts. Would you disagree with that?
Yeah, I bury myself in the shadows of the Boytown people, and then whenever they need a hero to rise up from the shadows, the Buttmole dons the cape and gets into action and swoops on in there to save I'm saving the podcast once again because the people need me.
Would you say that the Buttmole dons the cape and exits the cape? Is that how the Buttmole rises to the surface?
He wears it and then he skims the surface a wee bit, you know what I mean? Sometimes he doesn't like to get too close.
Did you say he rims the surface of the Buttmole?
Hey, Your Honor, I can't testify in this place right now. All I can say is I'm glad to be the people's champ, and that's what I am. I'm the people's champion.
You are. Well, welcome once again to the show. You were on last week. We had a really good time. A lot of listeners getting in touch saying they enjoyed it. A lot of people basically forming a petition to say keep Shane off the Boytown podcast. How do you feel about the love that you're being shown by the citizens of Boytown?
Look, it's no surprise to me. Number one, thank you, citizens of Boytown. Number two, this has been going on for years now. We know this since I appeared in the podcast many years ago when Shane wasn't around, and people, they feel like I feel bad for them because they keep getting their wish. They keep getting a little taste of the Buttmole. They keep getting, just a wee lick, and then it goes away, and they're left with fucking, whatever the guy who does the wee fucking the guy who does the caffeine podcast or something. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm back. I don't have a podcast, so this is where I speak to the people. This is where I sort of lay down my manifesto plans, my ideas for a better and new world.
Right. Okay. And speaking of the new world, last week you were in your pub recording with a real nice background of behind the candelabra. Tonight are you in your pub against a different wall?
No, this is a green screen, mate.
All right. Okay. Sweet. Can you pull it down?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, must be broken.
Is that it?
Oh, bollocks.
It's stuck up there for fun. No, I'm in. I decided, you know what I mean? I want to connect more with the Boytown people. I didn't show them into my little bar last week. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do the green screen this week. Let's show them the headquarters of where Buttmole ideas where dreams come true. It's like Disney World for the Butt Munchers,
Yeah, no, that's nice. And the Butt Munchers, what's been going on with Butt Munchers since you stopped doing your own podcast? Do you still engage with the Butt Monsters? Butt Monsters? The
Butt Monsters.
The Butt Monsters or the Butt Munchers?
The Butt Monsters are like Buttmole's wee enemies that he fights. So like Power Rangers have the putties, he has like the Butt Monsters where he just goes out and just disintegrates them a little bit. I feel like my fan base have I say fan base, 5 people. I feel like they have here's the thing, they may not be large, but they're dedicated. Okay, they're very, very cult like, I'm sorry, I feel I've got a lot of trapped wind in my chest here, Dave. Yeah. I've been drinking too much Coke Zero. I'm just getting excited because I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here. We're gonna have a fun time. We've had a fun time the last week.
Yeah,
I think it's good to it's always good to see my wee mate Davey.
Yeah. No, it's been a nice time. It's good to have you on the podcast again. A lot of times, if Shane, I'll just be honest. A lot of times Shane abandons Boytown. All right, let's be fair. A lot of time he abandons. We try to get different guest hosts to come on from time to time, but so much so was the response to last week's podcast. I just thought, you know what, fuck it, the Buttman back on again. So it's good to have you. And speaking of that, we've seen a lot of each other in the last week, which has been lovely.
We have. It has been nice. It's always, especially, a lot of all the quarantine stuff. We didn't see as much as each other. We weren't gigging and things like that. We would usually see each other more. So yeah, it was good to just have some fun, really, and forget about all the serious stuff going on in life. We shot a little sketch on Sunday morning that you wrote, which is very funny, and it'll be out at some point middle this week. So keep an eye out for that,
so
Boy Town listeners.
Are you going to say to the listeners, you're going to come out on record, say it will be out before the podcast is out, which is Thursday morning?
Here's the thing, Dave. I don't make promises I can't keep. Okay.
Well, listen. This is a Boytown exclusive. It'll be out before Boytown is out.
Yeah,
it'll be there.
It's out. Yep. I'll send you the link right now.
Well, there you go, guys. It's out. Hold on, wait a second. I poured too much coffee into my cup here, and I'm going to have.
Whoa.
I mean,
you do that.
You can just see the woods here, So when we second.
Yeah, I'll man the forward here while Dave does that.
No, it's okay.
We can't.
I'm literally right here. Oh, there we go.
Okay, whoa.
No, magic. What happened was I hadn't. Do you ever get it, right? Again, I don't know what this analogy is going to be when I start, but do you ever get it where you look at something and you look at it and you go, I can fill that. You ever look at it and you go, I can fill that to the right amount. It's going to be pretty tasty. And I looked at my coffee cup and I had my flask and I was like, this big black thing is going to fill this wee thing, right? And it turns out that the big black flask has too much volume from a cup. So my cup doth spilleth over. But then I went over there, had a wee sip, and as you can see, still quite full, but I'm not going to spill on my very expensive table. Because, again, I'm not sure all the listeners know about this. Have you seen my table before in the flesh?
Look, I remember early on in the podcast, there's a lot of talk about this table. I don't think I've been to your house, but I don't think I've ever got introduced to the table.
Right. See, next time you're around, I'll do a proper viewing of the table. I'll bring you in and I'll give you the proper tour of the table because it's a beautiful piece. Again, it's my prized possession, this table. It was something that I think as a man in a relationship, I got mugged off with very heavily. I mean, basically, we moved into this house. My wife was like, we need to get a nice table, just, something to stand out that'll fit into the decor of the room. As you can see, very nice curtains. I mean, can you turn this camera around a bit? Look, there we go. We can see a wee bit more history. Oh, wow. See that? That's basically
what is that?
It's an old picture just full of loads of old people. And I mean, look, there's a wee, as you can see, a wee old style chair. It's a very old style room. It's very sexy, very vintage. But that picture on the wall, true story about that, we found it inside like cabinet that we bought. So we bought this cabinet like secondhand and found this picture underneath like a bit of wood inside a set of drawers. So we took the picture and got it framed, which cost more than it should have done. We brought it to a framing place and it cost like 40 quid or something bullshit to frame it. But we thought, nice bit of history. We have no idea who any of the fuckers in the picture are, but it looks nice. It fits in the theme of the room. So anyway, I'm digressing. So with the table, where I was like, right, okay, how much is an IKEA table? Like fucking 13 quid or something. I was like, sweet, we'll get a big IKEA job. It'll do the trick. And then my wife's like, nah, I like these like live edge tables. I like them. They're just like proper bits of wood. So I went, yeah, sweet, no problem. So we went to this like timber yard place, and apparently got a wee tip off that this guy does tables, right? So we went in there, and he lo and behold, he had a lot of tabletops. So he had a lot of tabletops untreated, just sitting up, and I thought they're nice pieces. And I was like, all right, okay, I'll take that one there if you don't mind, mate. And he goes, I no sweat. So he's getting it sorted up. He's writing his wee book. It's very old school. You can't just put it through a computer. Got the pencil out. He's writing out, this will be X amount. So I was like, right, how much is the table? And he's like, for talk's sake, say $1,500, right? Which is probably $1,000 more than I was wanting to spend on a table. All right. And he was like, it's $1,500. And I was like, all right. And my wife's sort of going, I mean, it's an investment, isn't it? And I went, okay. And I was like, sweet. So can you get that? And he goes, what do you mean? Can you get that? I went, can you get that transported to the house? And he goes, what, the top? And I went, no, the table. And he goes, oh no, there's more to it. You need to get legs and you need to get it built and you need to get the tabletop treated. So by the time all that came together, he was like, I can do that here for you and get it to you. It'll be about $5.5 grand. And I went, all right. So then he goes, or you can get it done in different bits by different people. So I can treat the table top, and then I'll send it to some fella who obviously works in the fucking Harland Wolff shipyards. Can you see the fucking legs on this thing? And he goes, he can do the bespoke legs. We can transport it to somebody else that's going to put a final treatment on it. Then it'll come back to me. I'll bring it to your house. And I was like, how much? He's like, $3,500 by this point. I just went, fuck it, let's just do it, right? Bring it in, get it sorted. So this table, anything that I set on it, I'm very cautious about. That's why I have a stress ball / sex toy with me that I can just, anytime I'm using this table, I'm stressing out. So I just want you to know that's where I'm at the minute. So I'm nervous, I'm stressing out, I'm on this special table. But the good thing is when I die, which could be any time really, I'm going to be buried on it like an Egyptian pharaoh.
Yeah, could the table like fold, or could we
Absolutely not. You'll need to get a workman in to disassemble the table again. You'll need to get the guy from the shipyard back in to take the rivets out of the table, and you need to separate it. And I actually had to help the guy bring in the legs of the table. And like, you know me, and for you too. Like we're weightlifting guys. The two of us, we know weights, we know heavy weights, we know power.
Yeah,
and I'm saying no joke. The legs, there's 2 legs to these tables, and they're just like big square frames. So they must weigh about 100 kilograms each leg of this table. It's fucking heavy stuff. And so you need a workman to get it out. So good thing is you get that, you take it out, you bring it to, I don't know, Roselawn or whatever, and then just reassemble it on top of the crematorium machine and just burn me with this table, or put it on a ship and just send me out to sea and shoot a fired arrow at me and let me go down like a Norseman,
Yeah, Viking style. I would quite like to do that as well. Yeah. I mean, it's good to know that your funeral is going to make me have to remortgage a house, but it'll be worth it.
No, I mean, absolutely. I did think I was going to die today, actually, which was quite a scary experience.
Why? What happened?
I mean, our former friend, our now colleague Shane, who he's on paternity leave from the podcast, but he can still do the radio show. Whoa.
Whoa.
We were
Sign off him.
We were recording the show, and there was a shout out that somebody had sent in, and in the shout out, can I just read the shout out actually, because
let's go over it.
It made me 10 out of 10.
I mean, if it nearly made you die, then we should definitely dissect what it was.
Right. Okay, let me see. And it was him that read it, so it was quite early into the podcast, but it was genuinely one of the funniest moments of my whole entire life. And wow. Yeah, this is it, right? So somebody had written in, and there's a guy called Ian from Newton Abbey, right? And he said, can you boys give a major shout out to my wee mucker Spindle, right? Which is fair enough. He's got a mucker with a weird name. But then he says this, he was acting the bollocks and fell down the stairs and gone and broke his leg, right? So obviously it's a radio show. You can't say bollocks. Shane said it anyway. So we had to re-record it. So I was laughing at that. So after we just got through that, the very next thing that Ian from Newton Abbey wrote in his messages, stupid bastard, right? So by the time I just composed myself, Shane's right back in again, and he just reads stupid bastard like Ron Burgundy. And then after that, I just did some sort of seizure. So the full shout out is, can you boys give a major shout out to my wee mucker Spindle? He was acting the bollocks and fell down the stairs and broke his leg and all, the stupid bastard. What about a bit of Tiesto to cheer him up? Keep up the good work, Ian from Newton Abbey, right? So he's just reading that out. When he had said stupid bastard, I just couldn't stop laughing. Do you ever get laughing that much you just can't catch a breath? And then your brain starts going, he's suffocating here, he's going to die, and that's what happened. So if you can see, for anyone watching the podcast on YouTube, I'm trying to move closer, my eyes are all bloodshot and red because of nearly dying and having a fucking aneurysm. So I hope you know now that if that happens to me again, you know how I want to be buried. And you've got this as my last will and testament, burnt alive on the table. Oh, well, burnt dead.
Yeah.
Cremated on the table.
Yeah, burnt dead. Yeah. I'll clip that little fact and just make sure that whoever is dealing with your death whenever it happens, make sure that we get the message. And I mean, look, who knows? I mean, you might have 50 years left in you. 6 months.
50, 30. I mean, if I could get to 83. Nah.
Do you ever think? Do you have like an age? Do you have like an age where you think, if I get to that, I'm all right dying?
You know what? I feel now, honestly, that that I mean, shocker alert, I don't want to die. I don't want to die for at least
Yeah,
another good amount of time. You know, I feel like,
yeah. You want your kids to grow up and stuff, obviously.
yes, I want to give my daughter away. That's something I really want to do. As in,
You say that. You say that like no. You said that like you're an Indian father who wants to
yeah.
arrange a marriage for of some kind.
I mean,
The very
yeah.
strict Hindi flipping family.
Let me just say, I
The
would like to walk her down the aisle. I want to specify that before, because you know the world we live in nowadays. People are like, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this, but people are going, in my opinion, again, I've got to watch how I say this, fucking mental. You know, during this lockdown, there are
oh, absolutely.
conspiracies coming through the roof. There are people going mad. Like,
Yep.
have you seen
Worst
that thing,
people.
the Wayfair conspiracy? Have you heard about this?
Tell me about it. I have a feeling I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna think whoever believes it is an absolute cock. But
Yeah.
go ahead and tell
Do
me.
you know what Wayfair is? It's like a company that sell like wardrobes and drawers and things in America.
Oh, so is this the thing where they have an item named
Yes.
after? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like a missing person, and it's for sale for like 15 grand. So
yeah.
probably in the same sort of price range as my table, but apparently
Uh-huh.
you're
Oh
not
no,
actually
cheaper.
buying the goods, you're buying a missing person, you know, and people are like,
Uh-huh.
this is what it is. So I got to be careful when I say the phrase, I want to give my daughter away. I want to walk her down
Yeah.
the aisle. I want to see her married. I don't want to like give her away, you know. So I just need to point it, because people will be going, "Oh, Thee Davies part of this fucking child trafficking
Wayfair.
ring," and I'll be like, you know, what can you do? So
Yeah.
I just feel like there's too many conspiracies going about. People have too much free time in their hands, and effectively they're
Yeah.
just talking shit. That's my opinion. What's your view on the sort of seemingly uh, increasing trend of conspiracy theories that have appeared during lockdown?
Oh, it drives me crazy. It's one of those. I there's not many things that make me like angry or anything, but like
Mm.
like my dad is crazy for it. Like he'll go on
Mm.
Twitter, and I've sort of he's not doing too bad now because I've sort of talked to him and
Yeah.
stuff and things of that nature. But he'll go on Twitter and watch a video, and
Mm.
because he sees the video on Twitter, he immediately starts having thoughts and being influenced by it and thinking, oh, that's
Yeah.
who's like leading the world, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to tell him, no, Dad, not everything on Twitter is
Yeah,
fact.
but you know the thing that I think a lot of people miss about Twitter is on Twitter you follow who you want to follow. Do you know what I mean? So you're following
Mm,
people who are, you know, putting out content that you want to see. So say like it's a
yeah,
sports team or whatever, or if you're into conspiracies, you're going to follow the people you like. If you're into politics, you're going to follow the
yeah.
politicians you like. So you're going to be seeing their ideologies and you're going to be believing these wee bits. And then you're saying stuff
Mm,
going, fuck, see, I told you that was true. You know what I mean? And that's where you start
yeah.
building this weird kind of justification for your insanity.
The worst thing that you hear from them is whenever they go, oh, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. This is all true. And you're
Yeah.
like, or they're like, no, I look into it.
Uh-huh.
I know what's real. You know what I mean? I follow the facts. I follow the money. I follow blah, blah, blah. And you're like, it's just shit. Like,
This is the thing. Obviously, we know some fellas who are into that stuff, and each to their own and all.
aye,
But it's like it
aye.
makes you think. It's like, you know what? If say the FBI or the CIA or like elite police forces or government agencies, detective agencies, undercover agencies, just people can't break these rings. How is like a fella in his garage and pull glass, you know, going to be the one to crack the code? You know what I mean? It's like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then they pull out all these things that they've read online that no one else knows about, and because they think they know about and you don't, that they have the
Uh-huh.
upper hand, and they go, "Oh, but did you hear about X family
Like,
did this and this? I bet you didn't know that there was a link between this person and this person." And at the end, you're just like, "Well, I could probably go on the internet and find a bajillion other
mm-hmm.
conflicting ideas to conflict yours. So, what really is real?"
Yeah, but that's the thing too. Like they get to the point where you're going, what? You know, it gets that ridiculous. Like for example, you take like say the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, right? What annoyed me initially,
That's an interesting one to be
yeah,
fair, but go ahead.
but no, it's like it's now like he is connected to almost anything ever. You know, anytime there's something bad, they're like, oh,
Mm,
and
aye,
he was a friend of Epstein. Whereas like they sort of they
yeah.
go like they start off maybe with saying, oh, do you know the Clintons were like siphoning money from their charity and doing this, and like you go, that's okay. Then it gets to the point you're like, do you know Bill Clinton actually buys babies from Ethiopia to eat them? And you're going,
Yeah.
for a start, from a nutritional point of view, that's going to give him a dicky stomach. So, you know, you need
Look,
to have
I
common
don't know.
sense.
I'd say, yeah, I don't know. I'd say he'd get some mileage out of some baby, like flipping some vitamin baby. Like I don't know, but
Yeah.
I
Listen,
would say, yeah.
Clinton's not into eating babies. He's into getting sucked at. That's what he's into. He likes to get his dick sucked, and that's about the height of it.
But here's the thing, like, and call me crazy. See, in my mind, there's so much better places to put my energy and dedicate myself to. For example, like, I know people like people might just have a genuine interest in politics, in the world, and what's happening, what's going on. I probably just don't have that part of my brain where I am interested in that. I'm interested in improving myself, improving my business, improving my friendships, my relationships with people, improving my stance in the world and all the rest of it. Like, see, looking into fucking all this, people being like, oh, coronavirus is linked by the government to do X, Y, Z. Jeffrey Epstein had links of blah, 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 blah. It's like, what does that relate to me in any single way?
Yeah. No, but it's like, I think some people think if there's a greater cause, do you know what I mean? That's maybe a motivation for some things. Now, one thing I did see, there was like, and I mean, it's a mate of mine, his girlfriend put up something on Facebook the other day, and it was the most where I just went, you know, and in fact, I'll try and find it because it was that, it was that ridiculous that you're almost going, I mean, and I think, pardon me, I think you're going to find this offensive, and you know, and it's because, you know, I know you and your family are big fans of this. Oh no, I'm just looking on her page. There's all this, and see, no offense to her, idiot, right? But no, there's all this stuff being shared. So a post she put out was like, "I'm not having my kids watching Disney." That's basically it, right? And it's like something taken from Pinocchio, right? A cartoon book about Pinocchio. That's basically saying that Disney takes little boys, right? So basically, it's just like, meanwhile, Honest John and Gideon were in a tavern. A fat coachman was there too. Honest John bragged about how much money Stromboli had paid for Pinocchio. I pay even more for small boys, said the coachman. He showed a sack full of gold. The coachman then told the Honest John about his scheme. He brought boys to a place called Pleasure Island. He said no boys ever return, at least not as boys. Honest John decided to catch more small boys. Just get Pinocchio. I then tell him when I was racing home to Geppetto. He ran very fast and didn't see Honest John stop Pinocchio till it was too late. Here's the thing, right? That does sound like there's some bad shit going on. But guess what? It's a fucking story trying to make you scared for Pinocchio. It's a plot. It's a story arc about nasty men stealing wooden boys. Hey, here's a shocker. Pinocchio's made of wood, you know?
Yeah, and also he's not real.
Exactly.
And also it was written in 1940 something, or probably way before 1940. So it's definitely not the most modern piece of literature, you could say.
But people are basically saying that, oh, Disney is involved in this underground. Like, have you ever seen the movie with Vinnie Jones in it called The Midnight Meat Train?
It doesn't sound. It sounds like a hell of a movie. I'll give you that.
There's different versions of it that you can get online as well.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't star Vinny. It's called like a guy who plays a parody of Vinnie Jones called Vinnie Bones, right? But it's a different thing altogether. But the Midnight Meat Train.
Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones.
Go
but he basically is this scary guy who gets people in the underground, like, you know, in the trains, and then you think he's a serial killer, but then obviously there's different tunnels underground, and he's just feeding there is. He's just feeding people to lizards. And I mean, if anyone's going to know what's going on underground, it's the butt mole. So I mean, but people are definitely losing track, in my opinion, of what's real and what's fantasy, you know?
Yeah, and you just get to a point where you go, guys, what are we doing here? Now, the Epstein one is interesting because the whole did he kill himself, did he not kill himself type thing, where was he? It looks very suspicious because of the whole camera footage thing and everything else. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do understand that does, and the problem with that is because it does look so shady, it then fuels the fire for a million other theories to come out, and that is the biggest problem.
And that's the thing with him too, is that, like, if you are, like, he obviously knew a lot of info that could bring down a lot of people. So obviously you're going to get whacked. That's just the way it goes. You know, governments are shady. the mob is shady. The people in power
Mm-hmm.
are shady bastards. But that's stuff like that is going to happen. Now, on the flip side, for the people that are like, and again, I get so bored of that so quick. You see on Twitter, Epstein didn't kill himself. You're like, oh, fucking very original. You know,
Yeah.
the thing that I think a lot of people forget too, right? They're saying like when they did an autopsy, his brother paid for an autopsy to basically say that it wasn't suicide because there was a bone broke in his neck that you would have needed to have been forced at a different angle
That's
that you
right.
couldn't have done to yourself. Now, that's what people are saying. He couldn't have done it. But you know what people are neglecting? They're neglecting the fact that Epstein was getting massages every day of his life. He was constantly getting massages. His neck muscles weren't strong. They were
so
loose.
Relaxed. He was they were
he could
so
have just
relaxed.
hung himself and just flopped, and his neck could have broken in any way. You know, Epstein's neck is like that of a newborn baby. There's no control on it. He needs to be. That's why Epstein has all these kids, all these young girls hanging just to keep his head up. So it could have just been
because it's all the massage oil. The massage oil has like seeped into his bone and softened the tissue.
Exactly.
The guy's like Jelly Man. You know, he's like a super. He's sort of like who's like a jelly sort of
Stretch Armstrong.
He's like Stretch Armstrong. You know, he's like some sort of shapeshifter type being.
Flubber.
Yeah, he's Flubber Epstein. Yeah, Jeffrey Flubber.
Or I'm sure you've seen this movie, an absolute classic, The Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh,
fucking hell! There's a classic. I'll tell you what, that is a great film. Again, it's one of those films that I haven't seen in years, but I would, if I watch back, I'd probably think it was shit. But I'd love to watch that. But that's what I think. People just see one argument and just go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also can tell the conspiracy theorists who are listening to this are listening to us going, two don't know what we know.
Yeah,
you just know. Yeah, those two are stupid. They don't know the world. Like fucking whatever. Like I'm just gonna be in my little happy bubble here, and the rest. If Epstein wants to fucking do whatever he can, I don't give a shit. Yeah, I just want to get back on stage and tell jokes, Dave. That's what I want to do.
No, and I think that's just before we go on to that topic. Actually, there was a guy I went to school with, right? And this is when I first had my mind blown by somebody, of an age similar to me. We were in a history class, right? And my history teacher was talking about the plight, I think, of I don't know, some sort of hunger or something in say famine. Ethiopia, right? For talk's sake, a famine in Ethiopia, right? Okay. And she was like, "Do you not feel terrible for all these people?" And I remember this guy, James, his name was like, "No." And she was like, how can you not feel terrible? And he's like, "Because it's nothing to do with me." And she was like, "Yeah, I know, but can you not see how this is?" I goes, "Yeah, I can see how it's shit, but it's fuck all to do with me, so why would I let it bother me?" You know, and he, as much as people be like, "What an ignorant bastard," he lived a happy, carefree, blissful life because he didn't let shit that didn't involve him. And that's what I say, like, when I was younger, I used to be very much more like, you know, for justice, you have to do the right thing. But now I'm kind of like, don't be making things a problem for you that aren't a problem for you. So, for example, if someone's involved in a fight across the street, you don't know what's going on. Don't go over and get involved, you know, because you're bringing trouble to your own doorstep. Just, you know, watch and be like this. Oh, wow, I love that. And then, you know, maybe get the phone out, film it, you know, stick it on Facebook, get a lot of likes, but don't go and get involved yourself because you're just bringing shit in your own door. You know what I mean? So as much as what James did that day in school was pretty sly and got him a detention, there's an interesting mindset. You know, it's not my problem. Why do I bother about it? So my point is, a lot of people stick their nose in business that doesn't involve them. So just keep the snout out, mind your own business, keep the blinkers on, and everyone's happy.
True. That's a good point. That's a good way to leave that.
Yeah, and you were talking there about yourself. You got the blinkers on. You want to get back on stage. How are you feeling about that, man? How are you feeling about stand up generally? Where's your head at?
It's in a good place. Like, I haven't wrote much new stuff. I've got a few little new bits and pieces, but nothing to shout about. My thing is, I think I may have said this to you, like, for me to like really feel to get myself going with stand-up, I need to have something booked. I need to have like a date in mind where I go, okay, I'm doing 10 minutes on the Friday of there at this place. And then I start sort of crafting my set and my material. And then that's that. But see, until then, I struggle to just be like, oh, I'll write, I write a wee bit here and there, but then it's nothing great, and then I just get fed up and frustrated and stop. But I've like, so I go in between. But look, whenever I feel like we're at this point, we're closer than ever than getting back on stage, due to the fact that Northern Ireland is doing quite well in relation to the whole virus thing. We haven't had any deaths in 2 weeks, which is incredible. The cases are spiking a wee bit, but we'll see what sort of happens. But I feel like
we're both guys who have taken the threat of the virus seriously. We have abided by the rules. We can, and we are. We're not the type that are like, fuck, it's made up. We do.
Yeah.
And obviously, especially I feel at the minute with having a pregnant wife, that I don't want to be bringing anything to put that at risk. And to be totally honest with you, I was sort of feeling like things were on the road to recovery until today. I got a big kick in the teeth. And actually, as weird as it sounds, I ended up sitting in my car crying like a big baby, because we went for a scan today, and I was told that I could come to see the scan. Like, I've not seen the scan throughout this whole coronavirus because I've not been allowed to go. So I've kind of felt distant from this baby a bit, because of not being able to be there for the process of seeing the scans and going through the different stages and stuff. So today I'd gone there. I had my hopes all built up to get in for a scan, and then I was told I can't come in. And for some reason, I just was really sad. I went to the car and I just started crying, not like hysterically bawling, just like, and then you're going
just
to yourself,
a single tear.
Why am I crying? You just one dead face, one tear, and a wipe. But it was just weird, because I think for me, more so than just not getting to see my unborn child, was the fact that in my head, I sort of almost felt that we were back to normal again. But then this happened, and I was like, we're fucked. And a lot of people maybe don't see it, because again, if you're in hospital, that's the place where precaution's going to be at the highest, and like, if you go into the street, you look at cars on the roads, it seems like everything's normal. Whereas when I went in there, I was like, fuck, that's actually really quite worrying. So I didn't feel great. So I just hope that things do continue to improve, because I was at the gym this morning and it was very spaced out. All the machines were cordoned off, a lot of like cleaning sprays and wipes and everything. So it was good. So it was almost lulling myself into a false sense of security that, fuck, we're back to normal here. And then I'm told I can't see my baby yet, and I'm like, there we go, another week passes and I'm not part of this child growing. I mean, obviously I'm a part of it, if you know what I mean, but
a big part.
Not yet. So it's a bit shit, really.
Yeah, and things like that are frustrating. And I also have a lot of sympathy, a lot of sadness for the people who are like hospital workers and people who've like been those people have had to be very careful, because they have family and friends too that they're going home to, and they don't want to carry anything, and they want to help people and all the rest of it, and they've had to work extra hours. And even the likes of shop, or like people who work in those shopping centers and stuff like Sainsbury's and ads and all the rest of it. Like, I think the least we could all do is have some consideration for those people who are doing that extra bit of work that we don't do, and that we don't necessarily see. And I think that's the problem with a lot of this country, is that they're just so ignorant that, not all the country, I'm not saying the country's ignorant, but there are a percentage of people.
It is, by the way, Snake Rat Ben, cut that segment and put it online, isolate it.
And just look, don't put any context on. I think that there's a percentage of the population are ignorant and are holding us back. People who, for example, are going on holidays together, people who are having massive parties, people who are doing all these sort of things that aren't good for where we're at the minute. And it's like, and even simple things like wearing a mask in shopping centers and all that stuff. Like, I know it's inconvenient, I know it sucks, no one likes it, but the quicker we make all these changes and make all these sacrifices, the quicker we do get back to normality. And I think people just want normality to be now, but just because you want it to be now doesn't mean that it's good or safe to be now. And I just wish people would open their eyes and wise up a wee bit more.
That's what people are kind of saying about the whole mask. Like, well, why the fuck should we start wearing a mask now? And it's because
the mask is an interesting one.
Yeah, but because again, I think as more and more things come out, people aren't saying the mask is going to stop it, but it'll stop germs going as far and getting in. So it's just something that's going to help reduce the spread. And I think if you can do anything to help reduce the spread, go for it. As much as it's uncomfortable and a bit of a bollocks, go for it.
Yeah, and like I don't know where the argument comes from, like, oh, it's not comfortable for me to wear a mask.
Uh-huh.
I think that's the I think it's the lamest and sorriest excuse
Yeah.
I've ever heard in my life. And the only reason you can say it is you're possibly buying a bad or a wrong mask, one
Yeah.
that's too tight for you, or one that, because I have like multiple masks, and
Yeah.
when I put them on, I don't even feel them on my
And
face.
hey,
Like
man,
it
people are saying you can't look cool with a mask. What about that guy?
whoa, that's a
Hey,
bad guy right there.
that's a bad guy in a mask.
That's a
Again, in
bad
the
guy.
hospital, but not allowed to go for the scan. Sly, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I
But
mean,
yeah, like yeah, master. I don't see the big issue.
I feel do it if you can.
I
You know,
I
it's
like
not a
it.
biggie.
I
Yeah,
like it. I like it because it means I don't get recognized in public anymore.
yeah. No, that's good. I actually don't either want to wear it. You know, so that's pretty sweet. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to do autographs. Not that I ever did, but I don't have to do it now, which
yeah,
is
yeah,
sweet. But in terms of
yeah.
gigs, it does again. It's one of those ones where I feel like people are like going, "Oh, I'm fed up with this. I want to see gigs, so we're going to like look at doing gigs." But you
Mm,
got to do them safe. I'm hoping that there'll be
yes,
some news coming soon that might be exciting. But again, it'll only
yeah.
be done if it's safe and in a proper environment. Like see these gigs that you see in some places like Scotland and all that people are doing drive-in comedy gigs. Nah, no
Mm.
interest in that. Fucking bullshit. You don't get to hear the laugh. All you get to hear is people's horns. Fuck that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan of that myself unless it was done and like everyone sort of got out of their cars and sat on top of them or something. But
Uh-huh.
even still, I would rather just have like a space or a venue or a place that was really spaced out, that was, everyone was safe, comfortable in, dry, all the rest of it, and a good sort of stage and mic setup, and
Yeah.
everyone was happy. But I think, that'll be the first phase, is probably like the likes of outdoor gigs, and then I don't know, maybe in like October, November, we'll start doing some small indoor ones. I mean, I'm just guessing. It could be sooner, it could be later. But what I'm trying to say is that we're getting to the point now where it's closer to us than we think, which I think's great, because I'm looking forward to practicing stand up again,
Mhm.
and just having a laugh.
Yeah, no, and I do think it is coming, but at the same time, you don't want to set it back by
No, we'd
trying.
rather just wait it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
think,
yeah. But we'll see.
and in terms of other things, like what are you doing? What are you sort of doing at the minute other than stand up? Are you feeling? Are you scratching the itch? Because I know, for me personally, I find doing the podcast is a good outlet
Mm,
to try to put some scratch the funny bone. As my dad often said,
yeah.
there's plenty of ways to skin a cat. He would always do this after he said it, if you know what I mean, which I didn't, but
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there are ways to scratch. There's nothing quite like doing stand up in terms of
No, nothing can ever replicate that feeling.
yeah.
Really, I mean, it's just it has to be in the right set, in the right environment. And that's another thing too about it coming back so quickly. Like,
Mhm.
it is going to be different, and it's not going to feel the same, and we're
Yeah,
going to need some getting used to and things like that, until, because we're used to doing it in small rooms where there's lots of people, and you're all on top of each other, and
yeah,
everyone's just having, so it's not going to be like that anymore. But it's all good. I've been scratching the itch by doing a lot of sort of just video creating and a lot of video
mhm.
writing. So if you've seen my Instagram, I try to do like at least one piece of content a month that like is originally written, that's shot by me, that's edited by me, that's like a good original idea. So I did like the Gaelic video, I did the priest video, I did the traveling video, and then I have a few other ones that I'm working on this month. So that's been good to sort of scratch that little itch and just keep. And I think I'm really happy and proud of the work that I've been making, and also it's been good collaborating with the likes of you and Shane and some other guys on like other wee video ideas like we did
Yeah,
on Sunday. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to putting that one out this week. I think it'll go down really well, and people will
yeah.
have a
No,
real good laugh at it.
I mean it's one of those ones that I feel that I hope that
It's
people
yeah,
are sensible to realize what the joke is about, because it's about a topic that could be a bit controversial, but again, hopefully
yeah,
people know what the joke is aimed at, because sometimes the words alone, people will go and jump on, cancel him, but hopefully they'll
yeah.
not see that.
Well, I think to give you some credit, you've wrote this sketch and you've wrote it in a way that's very smart and very intelligent. Although if you were to see the sketch, you would not say it's smart or intelligent. But it is a thing people don't know. Like in comedy, there is just such nuance. And I'm probably sounding like a real nerd and geek here, and people will probably
Hey,
roll their
people
eyes.
love it.
But there is like there is such a fine line where you just need to be so careful at times about how you're writing it and the characters and the dialogue and things like that. And I think to get that right balance of just on the edge of controversial, but also still very smart and funny, it's something that I really like to do in my stuff. So I like to see that you sort of were able to do it in this, and I think people really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it because what you've sent me so far. I showed my wife and she went.
It's so ridiculous.
That's her word. She just went. That is fucking.
Yeah.
So hey, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing it.
We've got like just so many like stills and like little video clips of just me, just stuff that like he doesn't need out of context. You would not even need it, that we could just put online anyway. So
yeah,
it'll be a sweet time.
I might do that. I might just put something like the GIF online that you made of me. Definitely on the Boytown page for sure.
Oh yeah, it's just it's been good just exploring that side, and I think I mean I haven't really. Like I've just been doing stuff that I never had the chance to do. I always wanted to do, and I have a few like I have other little business ventures and business ideas that aren't comedy related that I've been working on as well. And I'm actually really excited about those in the next year or two, because if they take off, that could be really something big for me, you know. So I'm doing all right.
I think where possible, people in lockdown should try to accept what is and what isn't possible. So for me, early on, I was like, right, I've accepted the fact I'm not going to be able to do stand-up for a while.
Yep, me too.
What can I do in this period that's going to benefit me? So when the lockdown is done, I may have other opportunities. So for me, I've been beavering, like trying to write up a few ideas and get them submitted and stuff like that. So hopefully, that's going in the right track, and hopefully by the end of this, it'll be a better opportunity for me going forward. Because again, you could have just sat and tried to pine for stand-up or write stand-up, and then not have anywhere to do it, and you're like, well, what have you done with this free time? And you end up fucked. So
I mean, some other guys are good at, like, some of the other comedians we know, at just like writing loads of stand-up, and they'll probably go back like having all this stuff to do. But then I also feel like, because I'll be going back, I don't know if I want to start with new stuff right off the bat. I would rather fall back on the older stuff until I'm more comfortable on stage again. Yeah. And then I'll start to incorporate the new bits and the little bits and pieces here and there, if that makes sense. But like, I have to be honest as well, like, I'm in one of the most, I feel like I'm so lucky to be in such a privileged position where, like, I do have a good savings behind me. I've worked really hard over the last few years to get that, and I don't have any like big debts in terms of a mortgage or a wife or anything like that, or kids or whatever that nature. So
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, you took it all on at once as well. Remember, you just went from like 1 year, you were just like on your own, to like, I have Catherine, I have a wife, a baby, and a house, just all at once. And you were very pale during those few months.
That was an interesting moment. It was quite funny. I say now quite funny. Just before we got married, that's when I kind of had my sort of little flirt with depression, if you will. I think it was just a case of whenever Catherine was like, she said to me, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I think it was just like, I think I'm like a fat guy at a buffet, of a lot on my plate. And it's a lot to digest. And thankfully, that was easily sorted. Yeah. But I think I did all the stressful things at once. I switched jobs. I moved house. Yeah. I had a baby. I got married.
Podcasts.
All that other shit's my fun. That's the banter for me. The podcast is stand up. Yeah. Stuff like that. But see now, like, you get into routines. Like now, I sort of was thinking about it earlier. Like this is Tuesday, we're recording this, and I've done my work, if you will, for the week. So
is it not Monday?
Is it Monday now? Sorry, is it Monday? Yeah, it's Monday now. Sorry, shit. But that's even better.
Are you sure you're in a routine, dude?
But that's even better because my work for the week is done, if you know what I mean. So I've done this podcast, I've done the Sly Guy podcast, I've done my Patreon podcast, I've done the radio show. So I feel like the rest of the nights this week are my own, which is exciting, So
that's good.
I can just sort of sit in front of the telly and watch like Band of Brothers, which is a nice time, So.
Hey.
But again,
The
hopefully,
little things in life.
hopefully the rewards will come with hard work. But that's it. Don't be lazy. That's the gist of this whole thing. But we've been chatting for a long, long time, which is great. It's been another sexy podcast, and all we need to do now is answer some listeners' questions. How does that sound?
Let's do it. Let's hit me with them.
I'm just waiting for an email back about fucking work here and the bastard.
Oh, whoa. Angry. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, right, let's go on to Twitter first.
Go.
There's actually a good amount of questions this week you'd be pleased to hear, and I think there's some decent ones, right? I could be wrong. Mark Beggs has said, "Good morning, Sultans of Seamen." Oh, whoa. If
Dirty Beggs, okay.
were to create a bespoke mixtape, what sexy, sultry tunes would be on it? Hashtag seduction. I think that hashtag has basically taken the question from me and just passed it over to you. Do you want to just reach out and take that? Take that. There you go.
There we go. Got it right here. Seductive tunes. Wow. Okay. Let me see. I mean, look, I personally, I would start number one with Careless Whisper, George Michael. Okay. You get that dirty fucking, that fucking dirty fucking saxophone there. It's again. Yeah. That's what I would start with. Edging on in then I would sort of maybe get into more Motown, more like a bit of maybe like Otis Redding or something like that. I mean
bit of Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh yeah, now you're talking, baby. Yeah. Then maybe a little bit of Steel Panther as well into the mix, just to really shake it up.
Yes, that's definitely going to be a change in tempo, but a Steel Panther. For sure. Yeah. And you're a man who you like a wee bit of Genuine, don't you? You like a wee bit of.
I love those chains looking good. Baby,
I mean, what's weird about that song? That's a love song or a sexy song about a man trying to, like, you think he wants what's inside the jeans, but if you listen to the words, it sounds like he just literally wants
a pair of jeans.
Yeah, it's a weird song.
He wants a Levi sponsorship too.
I mean, listen, and we would take it here at Boytown Studios,
and
well,
we would, yeah,
for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So you've got Genuine, Otis Redding. And
we got Steel Panther, we got George Michael. I would also maybe put some, just keeping on the George theme, Boy George, Boytown, Boy George. I would put on Comic Chameleon. I would put on, Dead or Alive, Spin Me Right Around.
Oh, what about Love and Pride?
Oh, Love and Pride by King is like, that's the finisher for sure.
That's the shot, the money shot.
Sure is. So yeah, I mean, basically any song from the 80s is on the Boytown CD.
Yeah. I mean, so see, if I'm trying to flirt and be sexy and seductive, there's only one song from me. That's the Firestarter by The Prodigy.
Oh, that's what Holly was born to.
I think the less said about that, the better. Donald O'Reilly said, last week's Boytown boyo, Rory Miller, was outside the hospital, hopefully well and on the mend. My question is, if you guys were old-fashioned snake oil salesmen slinging drugs out of the back of your wagon, what ailments would you cure and what weird ingredients would be in it?
I'd probably come up with some sort of Viagra Calpol, and it would... And it's just, all it is, I don't know what it cures exactly, but it does taste good because Calpol tastes lovely. I would make, do you ever see do you know where they do like gummy vitamins?
Yes.
I would do gummy Viagras, and you would just, it tastes like Calpol, and you would just pop it in there, and not only would it like give you a boner, but it would like turn it a wee shade of purple as well, like Calpol.
Your boner purple?
Yeah, it would like make it glow in the dark. So like if you're like, oh fuck, she's struggling to find this in the dark, you'd be like, take one of these gummy Viagras, gummy Viagra Calpols, and then it'll fucking and it'll also glow like a lightsaber in the dark. She'll be able to Obi-Wan fucking can fuck that shit.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a lightsaber. It would just be I was going to say a light cock.
Be a glow stick.
Yeah, just a glow stick. And if it was me, I would just basically sell a load of different drugs, except it would just be turmeric, all just turmeric, and be like, does that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Is that going to give me a yeah, for sure. Is that going to cure me of my AIDS? Yes.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Next question is from Jamie Blobby, a friend of the show. He said, "Hey boys, I saw this job advertised at work, and I want to know which one of you would be more suited to the position." Oh, whoa! The job is entitled Human Milk Bank Technician.
So, are you like, are you getting the bottles filled, or are you working on the machinery? Like, what would be a milk bank technician's job?
I mean, I don't really know. I feel like I'm gonna have to dip out of the podcast.
I mean,
and Google here. What is a milk bank technician?
Here's what I'll say. Judging by our fertility rates, if it was going by that, you would definitely be more suited for the job than I would.
Yeah, I mean, probably, but I mean, I think you would have. Let me see what it.
Because I've no milk to give, really.
Oh, apparently this job is closed. Unfortunately, it closed in 2024.
That's a shame.
So I can't find out what a milk bank technician is. Yeah, it's bizarre.
We could make some guesses.
I would assume it's somebody that, like, if it's a human milk, they must either milk men or milk women. And I mean, women get milked if they've got lactating breasts. I know that.
Lactating, yep.
From having a child that fed via the breast for all of, I think, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or if you milk guys, I guess you could be, trying to get that sperm for, I guess, procreation.
Donation.
So, I mean, I think they're both skills that, I mean, I'm versed in. I could do either. I could milk a boob or a penis.
Yeah, you're definitely. I've never.
So I think I'm the human milk bank out of here. I mean, it's been called a human sperm bank before, but I don't know what that actually means. Speaking of which, Nathan Concelia has come in with a question. He said, "Hey, comers, it's been a while. Congratulations to the Money Toad and his money spawn. Anyway, who's the most Cunanan Northern Irish celebrity?" Now, for those of you that don't know, to be Cunanan is a Cunanan phrase means you're a little bit sassy and you're a little bit sly. Like, what you do is maybe a wee bit naughty, and that's obviously come from mass murderer Andrew Cunanan, who killed Versace amongst others. So who would you say would be the sassiest, most Cunanan NI celeb?
I would say, Simmons has a bit of Cunanan about him.
Yeah, Julian.
Yeah. That's the one. There is only one. I think he has a bit of Cunanan, man.
There's a producer who you would know, and
he's the most Cunanan. He's Tutankhamun.
He is. Like, there will come a time when he returns to comedy, and I just hope to work with this guy. I don't want to say his name in the podcast in case he comes through the screen and scrabs me, but he is one. The guy has won many of awards. He's prestigious.
Yep.
He is, I think, fair to say, a cutthroat, sassy bitch. Would you agree with that? Yeah.
So, he's 100% that bitch.
We will settle with Julian for now. But that was a really, really, really great question that I thoroughly enjoyed. Right, so now over to Instagram. Let's see what you fuckers are doing. Let me see. There we go. Sorry, I'm an old man. Don't forget. Yes, Bapper has sent a photo into us, which is great. I sent you it earlier just for a nosy. He says, "What's up?"
Let me have a look at it again. Yeah.
What's up, Papa Bear and the butt mole? Would Dave consider this?
No.
Your poster. I mean, does he say this? He said outfit. I was going to say I wouldn't consider that because
that guy.
It's cultural appropriation if I just put a black man on the poster, And hey, I should just stick him on the poster and just call my next show BLM and just own it. Ride on the crest of the wave and just go with it.
But it has a different meaning.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than BLM, it could stand for plenty of things,
Yeah. Big laughs
long
more.
member. Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
We're on two different pages here.
Oh yeah.
But would I consider
Yeah.
that look? Not that guy, because it's not me. He looks like a buff Kevin Hart. But the outfit,
Mm,
absolutely. I feel like it'd have to be a double header show with you, because I would be
mm,
culturally appropriating your own style, I think, with that
yeah.
picture. And you actually do
Yeah.
have that
Oh,
ensemble yourself, don't you?
I have something very similar, and let me tell people. See, when I get back to stand up, you're in for a treat.
And
In relation, yeah, in relation to my outfits, now the material will be terrible, but it'll be a good visual.
yeah, and that's all people need these days, mate. That is all they need.
Yeah, that's all they need. Just a little bit of yeah. Go
A
ahead.
little bit of something. Davey has come in and he said, if the man boy Cheeky and the Butmole were in competition to earn their place at the right hand of the father, what kind of
Wow,
tasks and competitions would the power behind the throne make them compete in? Chow.
Mandingo fighting.
Also, now that the NBC has sired a child, will he just be known as the man Cheeky? Nah, he's the man boy Cheeky once and for all. He's always going to be like Prince. Whenever Prince became the number one recording artist of all time, he didn't change the name to King because they already existed and they already sang your favorite song, as we ascertained earlier, Love and Pride. So
True, true.
once you're given a name in Boytown, it sticks with you. I've been Papa Bear from the beginning. You're the Butmole from now on. So
Well,
what tasks would I have you do? I mean, my first task would probably just be, being there on time on the podcast when you're needed. And I
well,
mean,
I win that hands down.
yeah, and I think also, calling your podcast something after, what did you say, the caffeine time or something is this called?
Yeah, it's like caffeine with me or something.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, focus more on Boytown, make it the priority, and forget about your caffeine party, and I think
caffeine party.
you're 100% Boytown, you're loyal. So I would just say, that's it. I don't feel like I need a competition. In my heart, I know. And in my head,
Yep, that's the head. Yeah, and if and we could also, if there was like an alternative option, we would just go on the Crystal Maze and settle it that way.
yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. Just get in, not forget
Or
the full
Takeshi's
Crystal
Castle.
Maze. No, in fact, why don't we fucking do a mashup, the mashup that people didn't need? Get Richard O'Brien.
Takeshi's Maze.
Takeshi's Castle. What about that?
Takeshi's Maze, yeah. Yeah. I love those shows, man.
If you flip it the other way around, it sounds like somewhere where Boytown would be recorded.
The Crystal Castle. Sounds like where you get the drugs from.
It's from Daniel Houston. He has said, probably a strange question for Papa Bear and the Butt Muncher this week. When eating bacon, I don't know if this is a euphemism or not, but I think I'm just going to take it literally. When eating bacon, brown or red sauce?
I go like raw, no sauce. I'm a bacon. I raw dog it on the bacon. I think I'm a real traditionalist when it comes to my meats, so I don't like to really sauce them too much.
Would you season your meat at all?
Oh yeah. I put a bit of salt and pepper on that thing and make sure it's really well seasoned.
And you wouldn't put salt and pepper on bacon, I would hope.
Bacon, look, David. I know. I'm more we're both very culinary skilled men, but obviously to the people who aren't that skilled, don't be putting salt in your bacon because bacon contains a lot of natural salts in there as well. Okay, so you don't need to salt it.
And you know who does salt their bacon? Shane.
Yeah.
He does.
Shane salts it just before he licks it midway through cooking it.
Yeah, which is why he's not well. It's nothing to do. Sometimes he's like, "Oh, I've got Crohn's." It's not Crohn's. It's salmonella.
That's how he got Crohn's.
From licking raw meat. That's what I think his problem has been. Chris
Kavanagh winner, bacon licker. Go ahead.
Good morning, my bros, Buttman and Throbbing. Honestly, who do you think would win the sass-off between the two Katies, Pricey and Hopkins? Much love as always. Cherish each other and no homo, but maybe a bit.
Hopkins and Pricey?
You know what? I'm going to step in here and I'm going to say the sass-off would be won by Pricey because I feel her sass is more, it's more Boytown sass. I think Katie Hopkins' sass is more, it's just a nasty sass. She's just a bit of a bitch. Whereas YC she just likes to scrab, whereas Hopkins would like to stab. You know what I mean? I think scrab over stab. any day.
Yeah, Hopkins, she's the type that would be like, oh, I'm going to get the law involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
She's
so.
that sort of dickhead.
I mean,
yeah. You know what I mean?
The nicknames keep on coming. This is from Callum. He says, "Hello, Bummer Ray and Weavon Dudley. With Shane gone, hopefully for good. Knowing you two are fans of wrestling, what would your tag team name be and the name of your finisher? I'm thinking the Legion of Vavavoom." I do like that. That's very good.
We did talk about this years ago. Do you remember we came up with if we were a tag team, we would be Sugar Butt and Angel Dust?
Yes. The story behind that is weird, but didn't you make a picture? A Sugar Dust and Angel? Or Sugar Butt and Angel Dust? Yeah.
Sugar Butt and Angel Dust, and it was like I made a movie poster where it was like,
we know the finisher. It's a Sweet Tooth, which is where you just boot somebody up the face, Sugar,
and then lick their hole.
Yeah.
Oh
yes, I love that.
That's Attitude Era for you right there. That's Rikishi. So we would do. I made a movie poster, a spoof movie poster called Sugar Butt and Angel Dust, Sex Detectives, and you were dressed as a pimp, and I was like a princess sort of character. I was like the Velveteen Dream, really.
Yeah.
We'd be a real sweet tag team.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that finisher, the Sweet Tooth, is enough.
That's the one.
We got to add to it. It's called the Sweet Tooth, followed up by the Iced Ring. That's the finisher that we would deliver. The next question is from Annie, who has said, she said, "Hi, Papas. Quick question. Wondering if the boys have heard about this. Will the podcast need a rebrand?" And she sent a picture. Let's see what it says. It looks like a tweet saying, "A district in Chicago is considering changing its name from Boys Town after campaigners said the name is transphobic and could prevent trans women from holding down steady jobs there. Potential new names for the district are Queerville and Spectrumville." Hey, listen, I mean, I think we would more than likely get into trouble if we were to rename this podcast Queer Town than it would, Boy Town. But you know what? Here's the thing. If people want us to change the name, if people want a rebrand of Boytown, if that's what the people want, you know what? I will listen to what the people want. And I will tell the people to go fuck themselves. This is Boytown. It's been Boytown, and it will stay Boytown. And it'll never be changed.
The people.
Yeah, that is that. But thanks for bringing that to my attention, Annie. But we will be the last Boytown standing. But no, we'll never change. Fuck it. Queer Town or Spectrum Town is nothing. This is Boytown. Matthew Mernon, good morning, has said, "Does the Buttman have any original inspirational quotes to get us through the rest of the week? So much negativity in the world, and he brings nothing but positivity to my life." It's real nice, that, isn't it?
That is. I appreciate that. Who's that from? Matthew Mernon?
Matthew Mernon, good morning.
Good morning. Matthew, look, I know I'm the sort of Tony Robbins in your life. I'm the motivational coach. I'm the guy you look to for advice. Here's a quote for you, okay? Listen, you can't make gravy without granules.
Mm-hmm. And that is a
You're welcome.
Really nice way to end the podcast. Butmole, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. And hey,
great to be back.
We'll cross our fingers that the Money Toad, the Man Boy Cheeky, the Slender Man, any other
Salad Fingers.
And
E.T.
He can't do next week. So let's hope, because it's been another fun episode. And guys, if you haven't already, subscribe over on Patreon, Boytown Podcast. Woo! On Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have a wee store on Facebook where you can get some merchandise, but that store is closing. I just want to point that out. It's closing. So if you want to get whatever's on there, you need to strike soon, because it's not going to exist anymore. It's going to be limited edition. So get that, because the store will be closing in the next couple of weeks. Other than that, we'll be back again next week. Thanks to the Butmole once again, and we'll see you again.